Good morning, officers. I am back with new topic. Once again, new week and the remaining days for the prelims is 221 days. I hope everyone is doing good. Everyone is studying. And as I said, whatever the things are going around in the particular the festive season, the breaks, going to hometown, enjoying, that is a part of our life. But don't forget to focus on our studies, the surrounding, at least the do current affair. You can have good days with your family members, your relatives, but don't ignore completely, don't skip studies, and don't slack. Okay, by these notes I will start our today's topic. As we know, there are multiple development at the national level and international level. The international level, the first biggest significant development of 21st century is a Gaza ceasefire, and we are going to discuss what is the Gaza ceasefire, what was the Donald Trump deal, then what exactly the today's World Peace Conference means Sharm el Sheikh in the Egypt it is going to held. Okay, then the next one will be the yesterday our Prime Minister of India launched the National Pulses Mission Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Then today is the today is the 13th of October 2025, and exactly 4 years back, 13th of October 2021, PM Gati Shakti Master Plan was launched. Okay, so this is our third article. Second is Pulses Mission. Okay, Atmanirbharta in Pulses Mission. Okay, I will provide the PDF. PDF is yet to come. The first one is a Gaza peace deal. And the last we will go through, because our honorable President of India is visiting the Gir National Park, so we will look after the fact about the Gir National Park, which river passes through, what are the important tribes there, and why Gir National Park is important. Okay, so today we are going to discuss this 4 article, 4 news basically. So first we are going to discuss, okay, Gaza peace deal. Okay, Gaza peace deal. Let me draw the image. Gaza peace deal. Now, what is the peace deal, Gaza peace deal, and why we are studying? What is the importance for this Gaza peace deal? Okay, why in the news? Because the Donald Trump, the President of India, President of America, has launched a 20-point agenda. Okay, in this there are different, and today in the Egypt city of Sharm el Sheikh, there is global international peace conference. Why in the news? Because this peace conference, even our Minister of State for External Affairs is a special invite to attend the session. Okay, that means ki more than 24 countries leaders, they are attending this peace summit. Important point is Israel and Palestine Authority or Hamas leader, they are not attending the session. Okay, this is very significant development of the 21st century. Very significant, because if you see 1950s, this Gaza war, instability in the Middle East is persistently hampering the development growth in the Middle East region. Okay, there was in 1993, in 90s, there was one of the most famous Oslo Accord. Okay, that was the significant development to bring the peace in Gaza-Israel conflict. But as Donald Trump is personally involving, and we know how Donald Trump is enthusiastic to get the Nobel, and the way his policies are not abide by any rules or something. His policies are dictated by his own thoughts and his own actions. So we can consider that this policy, particularly this 20-point agenda, first point is means that the exchange of the prisoners, exchange of the hostages, that is happened. Okay, now the second phase is forming the international stabilization force. Okay, and the gradual process, the infrastructure development, economic development, the bringing the FDI, who will invest. Okay, creating the buffer zones, and all this is very significant Why this is significant? We are going to discuss the significance. Why in the news? We have discussed today is the peace conference. Okay, today is the peace conference. Now tell me, what is the significance of all this development? Significance. Significance. First is bilateral significance. And this bilateral significance, first is just thinking how many people died, how many lives we lost during this last 75 years, and the evaluation of this peace talk. If I would want to mention 1950, 1967, then 1973, okay, then 2005, then 2025, okay, all this, even 2011, that this is a major development of Israel. Okay, this is a major development of Israel Gaza conflict. 1950, we recognize the, means UN recognized the Israel as a official state. Then the 7 days war of this 1967, then Yom Kippur war of 1973. Okay, then 2005 Infideta second, and the 1993 Oslo Accord. Okay, these are very, very important development. This is the evolution. And even 2020 we had the Abraham Accord. UPSC asked the question on the what is the Abraham Accord and its purpose. In 2023 prelims, UPSC asked this question. Okay, so this peace agenda is important. We will discuss the significant bilateral significance. In that, we are discussing bilateral significance for the people of Israel, for the people of Gaza, for the people of Palestine as a statehood. Okay, and 2025 the 20-point agenda of the Donald Trump. Now, what is the bilateral significance? Can anyone tell me bilateral significance? Okay, so first is bringing the peace and at least we can promise the basic peace, the dignity of human life, okay. Political stability. Okay, so these are the bilateral significance, dignity to the individual, because how many lives, around more than 65,000 people died in last 2 years. This is the gravity, this is the intensity of Gaza Israel conflict. And since 1950, around more than 3 to 5 lakh people lost their lives in this conflict. Ultimately the ordinary citizen, ultimately the ordinary human beings is at the end of the receiving end of this particular issue. Okay, even that's why the human rights and human rights council most of the time scolded Israel for the violation of the rights. Even the terrorist attack by the Hamas, that was a triggering point. And overall, to avoid this 20-point agenda significance is this one: respect the dignity, protect the lives. Then if political it will bring the political stability in the Palestine also, it will bring the political stability in the Israel also, and Israel may focus on their development. As we know, the defense sector, if we spend more money on the defense, we will lack the content, we will lack the money, we will lack the things in the particularly development of the people and the economic, socio-economic development. We will reduce the poverty. Government fund can be directed towards the social, women development, children development. Okay, growth of the children. Do remember this bilateral. Now, what is the regional significance? Can anyone tell me what is the regional significance? Regional significance is, who are the major players in the region? Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iran's axis of evil. Okay, and Saudi Arabia means particularly UAE and other countries, GCC countries. So this Persian Gulf and Arabian Gulf. Persian Gulf and Persian Peninsula and Arabian Peninsula, they are since 1950 they are on the loggerheads. They are fighting for each other. They are, one is saying radical Islamist, another is a moderate Islamist. So to bring the peace, to bring the prosperity, region as overall, this becomes very important. Okay, and if you see the regional dimensions of all this, the terrorists, axis of evil, all these are instabilizing the other countries. How this in the Hamas in the Palestine, how this in the Yemen, then the particularly other Lebanon group. So these three axes is instabilizing the region. The instability in the Syria, Saudi Arabia sometimes a victim of the all this, even the UAE, even the Oman, okay, Qatar, means this region is continuously under the instability because of this Israel Gaza conflict since 1950s. So to avoid this, once this pact will be fully implemented, the conflict at a regional level, this will bring the prosperity and the economic development at a regional level. Okay, this is the regional level significance. Now tell me, what will be the significance at a global level? If you first one is like global importance of this peace summit. What are the global importance? 80% of crude oil trade and strategic location of Middle East. Okay, the great power game will reduce. And one of the major conflict at a global level since 1950s is Israel-Hamas conflict. This can be reduced, this can be halted, and this will be reduced tremendously because of this global importance of this peace deal. Global importance, 80% crude oil, provided crude oil trade, the strategic location of Middle East, connecting the Eastern world with Western world. And if the channel connectivity breaks, and if that connectivity becomes strong, then it will bring the prosperity from the global north to global south. From the ancient time, this Middle East become the hodgepodge, the passing through east-west cultural ties, connectivity, trade, commerce, everything passes through this. When this Israel-Hamas conflict started, how these attacked the ships in the Arabian Sea, and that led to the providing the multinational task force to control these attacks. Okay, and third one, strategic location. As I discussed the strategic location. Now tell me, most of the terrorist organizations, most of the terrorist group are emerging in which part of the world? ISIS. How these not officially, but this is a international recognized. ISI, okay, Al Qaeda, then the Al Shabaab. All these are born in this conflict-ridden zone, conflict-ridden Middle East. So if this conflict-ridden Middle East, we stop the conflict itself, we treating the disease itself from the root, then automatically it will lead to the peace in the region, and the global terrorists, the menace of global terrorists can be reduced, can be hampered, because this country will cooperate with the international force, and once they will cooperate, then automatically this will lead to the decline of the ISI, Al Qaeda. Okay, so this is strategic security dimension. Now proxy, great power politics. Since 1950, most of the power politics happen in and around the areas of Middle East. Iran is supported by sometimes USSR, Iran is supported by China, then other Saudi Arabia, UAE is supported by USA, UK and Israel. Okay, not Israel, but as such the Western allies. So if this conflict stop, then automatically there will be the peace, there will be no proxy wars, and everyone will move towards the prosperity. Okay, this is the significance of the particular this today's world peace conference in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt. And one important point I want to mention, Donald Trump always criticized UN. Donald Trump always criticized the UN because of its inability and everything. But if you remember, means now if you see the delegation, first and foremost chief guest who is UN Secretary General. This shows that the relevance of UN, relevance and importance of UN, because there are three guests. The summit will be chaired by Egypt President and American President, and honorary guest is UN Secretary General. This shows how UN is relevant, how role UN can play to reduce the conflict, how UN has the agenda, has the potential to stop the conflict, reduce the conflict, reduce the war, okay, and to protect the prosperity entire world, to provide the peace and security in any corner of the world. So this becomes important. Now there are issues in this, particularly the summit. What are these issues? We are going to discuss these issues. Okay. Now issues. First one, two-state solution. Is not mentioned. Then fragility of the peace talk. Okay. Then future of Gaza. Okay, future of Gaza people. How who will develop this? Okay. Then Israel domestic issues, domestic policies, and one more is terrorist organizations, terrorism in that domain. Okay. Now first is two-state solution. Even countries have recognized the, means in that 20-point agenda, they have not explicitly mentioned that, but last one they have mentioned in future we can have the Palestine as a statehood, Palestine as a nation. But this is not a long term, this is not in the short term, and this become the bone of contention. Even Hamas accepted this deal, but they are still means in conundrum ki dilemma that ki what will happen to the Palestine state. Their demand, their is to protect their rights and everything, but what will happen to the two-state solution? The question is unanswered. Now the second one is fragility of peace talk. There was earlier ceasefire, temporary interim ceasefire agreement. There was Oslo Accord. There was a number of means Camp David Accord, Oslo Accord, and means 7 days war. Then the post accord recognition. Point is this: parties involved in this peace deal, they are not able to honor the contract, not honor the agreement. And this is depend like blame game, everything. This will even the this 12-day war between the Israel and Hamas. That time it showed that the Hamas will be means Israel and Iran. Then they were blaming each other. Okay, so it was like depend on the party, but willingness if come there, then there will be the way forward. Okay, now the future, what will happen to the Hamas fighters? Okay, Hamas fighters. Even the amnesty is given to the Hamas fighters, but who will assure that they will not take once again arm? Okay, so this is the one. Now the issue with future dynamics means now who is going to invest in the Hamas or means in Gaza Strip? How Gaza Strip will be? What will be the citizens' right in that particular Gaza Strip, and if that development is for others or development is for economic purposes, or this is the inclusive development. People are dying there, people are dying because of starvation, people are dying because of this. Idea is good, idea is good that people will force the, means there will be the buffer zone, there will be the investment from the, even the Donald Trump himself assured that he will invest in a lot of money to make it as a hub, but that investment should be inclusive, isn't it? So this is also issue. Now the terrorism dimension. How terrorism dimension? Because this region is riddled by the terrorist groups, ISI, Al Qaeda, Al Shabaab, and all these terrorist groups are become potential threat to itself. Even the Hamas also considered as a terrorist group by the Western countries. And just think about the talks is going on, everything, and terrorist attack on Israel once again, then what will happen? Actually, it is depend on the state also, it is depend on this terrorist organization, even the international force, to avoid this terrorism. Then what we can do, what are the way forwards, what are the way forward to maintain this agreement? Way forward. So first one is upholding the global, means commitment, international law. International law. Okay, then parties, third party involvement. Then fourth one will be the role of USC and other superpowers. Okay, and particularly the guarantee to protect the rights of people. Okay, first is international, upholding the international law. How they can uphold the international law? By honoring the agreement, by honoring the ceasefire deal, by respecting each other's boundaries, by respecting each other's power. Okay, this will help to bring the long-term peace. The second one is third party involvement. As the Donald Trump said that there will be the Gaza Development Board, there will be the International Stabilization Force led by the Indonesia, led by the other Arab countries. So this party involvement will assure a long-term peace, but those who are participating, they should be neutral. They should not engage in the involvement in the domestic policy. They should not intervene in the internal affairs of the Gaza Strip. Okay, and role of US and other powers. As USA is major power and USA's role to protect the Israel, it has become paramount for USA to honor its own commitment, to honor the peace deal, to honor the respect, and to provide the investment, to provide the security force, and to lead from the front. Okay, and the last one is a guarantee for the citizens' rights, the inclusive development of the Gaza people, development for the Gaza people, means development for the Gaza people, development of the Gaza people. Then Gaza Strip, they can expand to the particularly the Palestine Authority territory, Jerusalem area. Okay, so these are the way forward. Now one more dimension is missing in this. The dimension is what is the benefit of, what is India's official stand, India's stand, and how this deal India is looking for. Okay, as we know, our policy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and India's commitment for the two-state solution. India's 8.9 million diaspora in the Gulf countries, India's terrorism threat, and India's role as a global power. These are the significant dimensions of this particular Gaza deal for India. First one is a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. From the starting, India advocated for the peaceful resolution, discussion and dialogue between the Israel and Gaza, Israel and Hamas leader to resolve the conflict as soon as possible. And when Donald Trump declared this plan, within the hours, our honorable Prime Minister declared that we will support this plan. This is the 21st century's most advanced, most significant plan to bring the peace. Okay, and now two-state solution. Since 1950, India have advocated for this two-state solution. 1992, India opened the embassy in Tel Aviv, and the Israel allowed the set up the bilateral relationship with Israel. Even the 1989 Indian leader and Palestine Authority have very good, means our honorable our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had very Yasser Arafat leader of the means Palestine Authority. They have very good ties with India. Even India given the pace. There is one embassy of Palestine Authority in India. Even similarly the Israel. Now the particular this plays important because of this diaspora. We have around 8.9 million diaspora in the Gulf countries, and this peace deal at the regional level will bring more remittances, will help India to gain the more remittances. Okay. Then terrorist dimension. In this terrorist dimension, if you see, India is a victim of terrorism, and if peace in the Middle East, this will reduce the fertile ground for the terrorist organizations, and automatically the terrorist organizations will not raise the issue, and India will be get protected by this deal. Means this is a benefit for India. Now there is India's stand for the globalize. Okay, in this, if you see, India particularly rising power has set up its own standard, that is strategic autonomy. Okay, and in this strategic autonomy is become important. This strategic autonomy becomes paramount. India is holding and is making India as a global power. And same way, if you see the strategic autonomy in the Israel Hamas conflict means cause for the India vocal against the terrorism, at the same time India vocal for the human rights in the Gaza. The same, on one hand India supported the Russia's sovereignty rights, and on the other hand India supported the medical supply to the Ukraine. This is our strategic autonomy policy. Okay, so do remember this strategic autonomy policy. By these notes I will end our first article. Okay, and I am going to start our next article, that is the Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I will make the PPT. PPT has came, so I will make sure that you will get the PPT. Okay, done. As I have discussed this thing. Okay, so do remember this thing. This is the mission Atmanirbharta. Okay, just a minute, I can import here. Okay, now we can start. We have discussed this first part. Now we are going to discuss this second part, that is the UPSC humanitarian assertion reconstruction. Okay, fragile trust, as I have discussed all the points. Okay, do remember this because Israel is a very important topic. Now mission Atmanirbharta, because yesterday our honorable Prime Minister launched this mission Atmanirbharta. Okay, Atmanirbharta in the pulses. This was announced in the budget of 2025-26, and now yesterday our honorable Prime Minister has announced the mission Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Okay, and how this is a okay. So what exactly the mission Atmanirbharta? What are the objectives of why we need the mission Atmanirbharta in the pulses? Why we need, what are the constituting the pulses growth? We are going to discuss these things. Okay, so first one is why we need Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Okay, self-reliance. Okay, do remember the self-reliance. Let me mention the point, self-reliance. First is, which country is the largest consumer of the pulses in the world? Pulses in the world? India, consumer. Which country is the largest producer of the pulses in the world? India. Which country is the highest population in the world? India. And now, which country have the highest malnutrition and protein deficiency in the world? India. One of the country, not the top country. Okay, and now why we want, means largest dependency who is producing? Because the global uncertainty, then the price stability, as you know, the inflation, particularly the headline inflation, food and fuel, that is become more volatile. So self-reliance in the pulses, we have launched this because of these 6-7 reasons. Okay, this Atmanirbharta in the pulses mission is a part of your GS3 agriculture. And do remember, agriculture, there are 4 questions in mains and 1 or 2 questions in the prelims. 2020 they asked the gram production, 2021 they asked the least water consuming. There is 1 or 2 questions on the crop. So do remember, for the prelims also this mission is important, and for the mains also this mission is important, because in GS3 there are 4 questions on agriculture. Okay, and this is become important. If you see, India is the largest producer with 28 LMT, lakh metric ton production of pulses in financial year 2023-24. Largest producer of the pulses in the world, largest consumer of the pulses in the world. So we have the more population. That's why, and we more tend to focus on the pulses rather than the paddy and rice. Okay, traditional way. Now we have shifted our diet towards the rice and paddy and fast food, but conventionally we are the largest consumer of the pulses. Okay, so we need Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Why? Because we cannot depend on the China, or we cannot depend on the Australia to get import their pulses in India. Because global uncertainty, global winds are completely uncertain, fragile, and when supply chain break, we don't know. In this context, Government of India has launched the self-reliance in the pulses, self-Atmanirbharta in the pulses mission. Okay. Then population I have discussed, and tell me which this inflation dimension. Tell me which country have the, means not which country, which commodity have the largest volatile prices? That is food and fuel, and we called it as headline inflation. To contain the headline inflation, to maintain the price stability, we need this self-reliance. We need our own production, Swadeshi. Okay, so do remember why we have launched this mission, particularly the self-reliance. One more dimension, the nutritional security. Nutritional security, food security. We have largest obesity, fatty population in India, obesity in the world. Nutritional security is important, food security is important. Around 80% of India's population are the beneficiaries of National Food Security Act. Okay, So to provide nutritional food, to provide the nutrition, we need this national mission on the pulses. Okay, then what are the objectives of the national mission on the pulses? Objectives: what are the objectives? District level targeting, district level target. Okay, cluster based approach, then focusing on the arhar, red gram and black gram particular crops. Then financial support, strengthening the storage linkages and processing. These are the objectives of the self-reliance mission in the pulses, with fund outlay of 11,000 crore. Do remember this. Okay, so these are the let me 1 minute. Okay, now is it okay? So these are the objectives of national pulses mission in national pulses mission. Okay, so first one is a district level approach. We have one district, one product, and we know the RR production. Which state have the largest pulses production in the India? That is Madhya Pradesh. Do remember, because of this land, gravity, everything. Okay, so this is a district level approach. We are not focusing on the particularly the local level approach. We are focusing on the district level approach, not the state level approach, bottom up approach, focusing on the targeting the community. Okay, cluster approach. In that also we are focusing on the clusters. For example, Madhya Pradesh is famous for the arhar. Then arhar, Madhya Pradesh, in that also particular block. Then Madhya Pradesh, arhar will be more produced. Similarly, the case with the groundnut. Okay, sorry, similar with the case of black gram, Rajasthan, Haryana belt. So focus that cluster, black gram. Okay, then the particularly the moat, you can say. Okay, green gram, peanut, green pea produced by which state is the largest producer? Green pea producer, West Bengal. Then so my point is this, I think West Bengal is not there, kindly check it, but focus on the cluster where we can produce more. Arhar, we can mention the particularly the green gram, black gram, red gram. Okay, so these can make that area more profitable, which it will increase the farmers' income. It will increase the, and if you see, the pulses are most dividend. They will give more dividend than the commercial crops. And even the advantages of pulses are, and even the soil environmental advantages, soil fertility increases. Okay, so do remember this thing, 11,000 the cluster. Now focus on not all the pulses but important pulses which consumption is more. This is one of the objective. Like arhar we consume more, red gram we consume more, black gram we consume more. So to get more that demand, to fulfill the more demand, we have focusing on priority basis. The first is arhar, black gram, red gram. Okay, then farmers means farmers income. Okay, providing the farmers income, developing the cold chain infrastructure. Okay, building the infrastructure. Then market availability. If we are producing, we can export also. If we fulfill our demand, at local level, we produce, we become the self-reliant, then we can produce more and we can export also. That will give more income to the farmers. That will bring more prosperity in the farmer, because we have the 1.4, around 143 million are farmers. Okay, so do remember, farmers' prosperity is paramount for India's overall development, India's goal of Vikasit Bharat by 2047. So because in this context, the mission self-reliance in the pulses we have launched 6-year mission. This is there. But despite this much objective, what are the challenges actually we are facing in the pulse production? Challenges: rain fed, seed availability, input, I would say ki. Then small and marginal farmers, then lack of infrastructure, then bottom, instead of the bottom up approach, there is a top down approach. And this environmental concerns. MSP bias, okay. So all these are the rain fed. If you see 55%, one more dimension missing is a per hectare yield, 1100 kilogram kg per hectare. That is very less. 55% of India's area is irrigated area, but out of that, how much irrigated area is used for the pulses production? Very less. Even the around 70% pulses are grown on the rain fed area. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, then the Deccan Plateau. Okay, so this is one of the concern. Most of them are rain fed agriculture, means depend on cultivated in the rain fed area. So yield automatically will be less, because we are not giving attention to the pulses. We are thinking that, and why we are not giving attention? Because see, MSP given more to the paddy, wheat, not to the pulses, and because of this reason we are not cultivating more pulses in irrigated area. We are providing MSP, fair FRP to the fair remunerative price to the sugarcane, cotton MSP is there, but we are not providing the MSP to the all pulses. We are providing the 7 pulses are there. Okay, and even that the pulses prices are already very high, so MSP bias is there, and more focus on the paddy, wheat, sugarcane, cotton. This is the chain. And why this? And mostly input cost, seed availability. How many we are importing, the particularly the genetically imported, means availability of quality seeds. That is also matter. That is also concern. Then the small and marginal farmers, we have 86% small and marginal farmers. Okay, 86%. How they can substances are agriculture we are following 86%. Either they will produce for the income, or either they will produce for the just for the soil conservation. So this is also issue. Then infrastructure availability, post production, downstream. Are we processing the food pulses that much level what we are supposed to do? No, because lack of availability, lack of infrastructure, lack of warehousing, lack of storage, and distress sale. Then top down approach, policies are made at central level, they are implemented at the ground level. So cluster approach, Niti Aayog has suggested this. We are going to see what are the way forward, but do remember this. Now the environmental concerns, even the pulses are good, pulses are very good, but environmental concerns as such is not a negative, but in the positive sense, pulses are the nitrogen fixation, they do the nitrogen fixation, but are we cultivating the pulses? No. So what are the recommendations given by the Niti Aayog? What are the recommendations given by Ashok Gulati panel? Let me tell you the recommendations given by to improve the pulses, to make this Atmanirbharta in the pulses mission successful. Way forward. What are the way forward? Okay, the first is cluster based approach. Cluster based approach. Then MSP. Then input. Okay, then infra. Then processing. Market availability. Inclusive policy. Okay, and the last one will be the supporting to the dietary habit changes. This will impact the demand. Now first start with the cluster based approach. Niti Aayog suggested this approach to focus on the region clusters which are more already have strong command on the particular production of the particular pulses. So that pulses will be the, if you see the central India, then central India will be the arhar. Okay, similar case with the groundnut. Okay, groundnut in the Gujarat. MSP, broader they expand, at least enhance the pulses MSP. So farmer will cultivate, farmer will harvest more the pulses. Then input cost, provide the quality seeds, provide the fertilizers, organic fertilizers, provide the inputs at a regular interval. So this will reduce the input costs, and small and marginal farmers will grow these pulses. Okay, then next one is a infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure I would say is called means mega food parks are there, food processing industry. We can use the pulses means condiment, everything we can prepare it from the pulses and we can export it. Market availability, domestic market, international market. We are the largest producer and we are the largest importer, we are largest consumer, because we are consuming more, so produce more. Effective implementation will be done at the proper nodal agency will be the policy coherence, inclusive policies. Okay, so do remember this thing, how we can improve the pulses production and how we can make the mission Atmanirbharta in the pulses successful in the next 6 years. If that is going to successful, then we can expand it, we can extend it to the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, so this is overall about the mission pulses, mission Atmanirbharta in the pulses. Okay, Atmanirbharta in the pulses mission, because this is launched by the government, by the our Prime Minister of India yesterday, so it is important. Do remember the pulses condition, cultivation condition, what exactly the, and even the pulses are good for the soil also, environmental concerns, economic conditions, political stability, nutritional security. Okay, so do remember all these points. Okay, I hope you understood the overall pulses mission, what are the important pulses grown in India, which is the largest producer, objectives of the pulses mission. Okay, then why we have launched. Okay, so by this note I will end our second topic. Third is like Gir National Park, Gir National Park. Okay, and why this is in the news? Because our President of India visited the Gir National Park yesterday. UPSC in 2019 asked about the Gir National Park because this Gir National Park, Kathiawar region of deciduous forest in the Gujarat, location is in the Gujarat. It's most famous for the Asiatic lion, and this is the Asiatic lion is confined to endemic to the Gir National Park only. So do remember about Gir National, Maldhari tribes is there, grassland, Banithani grassland is there. Okay, so fact about the Gir National Park is location is Gujarat. Then keystone species here is Asiatic lion. Then keystone species, then tribe, Maldhari tribe, grassland, Banithani grassland. River. Any important river? Mention me, just tell me the river. I am not able to remember the river, but you can mention the river. Okay. But do remember about the features of asiatic lion category: critically endangered or endangered. Critically endangered. It is endemic to Gir National Park, and this Gir National Park lies in the Kathiawar deciduous forest region of Gujarat. Do remember this. This is a factual information, because what is happening, UPSC has asking the giving the features of area and then asking their means particularly the which identify the area. 2020 they asked the Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, Namadafa National Park they asked the Kutch region. They asked in 2023. So this is important for the prelims. Now 4 years of PM Gati Shakti. I have covered this thing. Okay, 4 years of Gati Shakti. On 13th October 2021, our Prime Minister of India launched the PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. In this domain, we are going to discuss the what is PM Gati Shakti, what is PM Gati Shakti, its achievements, constraints still there, and way forward. PM Gati Shakti is a master plan which confines the 16 core infrastructure areas, means 16 core infrastructure projects, bringing all the ministry together to harmonize the development. For example, if a Ministry of Telecom want to lay down the optical fibers in the beneath the road, they will consult with the road authority to wait for the first they will beneath, then road authority will construct the road after that. This will reduce the cost. Okay, and there are around 16 core ministries. Now I am going to discuss what are the key achievements of the PM Gati Shakti in the last 4 years. Okay, the key achievements. The first key achievement of PM Gati Shakti is coherence among the 16 core areas and around 50 plus department of government. Okay, then investment, total investment they have done 16 lakh crore, 1.5 lakh crore something is there. Okay, 16 or something, I'm not exactly remember. Then the environmental clearance time has reduced from 600 days to 162 days. Around 430 plus projects are evaluated, monitored. Okay, participation of Ministry of State and the means overall 21 plus state are participant members of this PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. Okay, and more development given to the areas, core areas infrastructure, road, railways. These are the achievements of the PM Gati Shakti. Okay, first is 16 core areas from rail, roadways, highways, transportways, waterways, energy, renewable energy. The best example for this, the coast 600 kilometer, 300 kilometer coastal road in the Gujarat, and Uttar Pradesh is emerged as the expressway state, because the coherence and the way PM Gati Shakti has means enhanced the effectiveness monitoring of the central project and state project. Coherence. The main and primary objective of PM Gati Shakti was to make the implementation of the infrastructure project in coherence way, in one approach way. Okay, 50 plus department, that includes the not only the core ministries but within ministry departments cooperating with the minister. The interministerial in the PM Gati Shakti itself is committee is chaired by the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister look after the things going what exactly. Even the recently developed the Chenab Bridge, Pamban Bridge. Okay, Chenab Bridge, Pamban Bridge, Vizhinjam Port in the Kerala. Okay, even the recently inaugurated international airport, Navi Mumbai International Airport. All these are authorized and monitored by the PM under the PM Gati Shakti. Okay, then investment, how much money have saved? Around 15 trillion overall. 15 trillion overall investment is required, and in that 1.4 means 1.4 lakh crore investment has done. Then environmental clearance time, earlier it was around 600 days, that means more than 3 years. Okay, it was took to just give the environmental clearance, but now it has reduced to 162 days. Why? Because of the coherence in the environmental clearance. Then how many projects are monitored right now and evaluated? 430 projects across the India. State, central government projects, state government project. Okay. Then next one is how many states are participating? 20 plus state and UTs are participating in the PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. This is the achievement of the PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. Then what exactly the main core areas? Rail, roadways, highways. Okay, so these are the core areas of PM Gati Shakti. This is the achievement of PM Gati Shakti in the last 4 years. Exact 4 years back, on the 13th of October, Prime Minister of India launched the PM Gati Shakti Master Plan. Okay. Now this much achievement is there. What are the challenges faced by the PM Gati Shakti during this 4 years period? I am going to discuss these challenges. Okay, issues. First one is lack of coordination is still lacking in the certain ministries in Austria. Okay, then there are allegations on the corruption on the handling authorities. Then involvement of the state actors, policy, these are the policy. Then lack of technology applications, uneven regional focus, okay, and focusing on the 3 to 5 core areas rather than the 16 areas mentioned under the PM Gati Shakti. Okay, and the amount of investment is less. Then logistic cost is very high. Still logistic cost PM Gati Shakti is not able to reduce. Now lack of coordination, still there is a lack of coordination, inertia is there, corruption is there within the ministries and those who are involved in the higher decision making. Okay, this was the best example is in June 2025 there was one UP officer, IAS officer, he caught that investment in UP programming, and that program was under the PM Gati Shakti to make more investment in the UP infrastructure. Okay, so this was the issue. Then the involvement of the state, even though there are certain states are involved, but not all the states are involved, and that automatically leading to the uneven development in the regional uneven development. More the state are beneficiaries are Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu. What about the north is also there, but West Bengal, Punjab, Haryana, they are getting less benefit of this. Means projects are more channelized and implemented in these areas rather than the Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Odisha, Bihar. Okay, even the Mission Purvodaya launched to supplement this PM Gati Shakti only. Now uneven regional, I have discussed that. Then particularly according to the World Bank, India need 15 trillion investment in the coming year to fulfill the demand of infrastructure in India for the population of 1.45 billion. But at the space, PM Gati Shakti just invested in last 4 years 1.5 lakh crore. This is far less than the demand requirement. Then next one is more focus is given to the roadways, railways, highways rather than the 16 areas like infrastructure, energy, other the means renewable energy, focus on the development, the reducing logistic cost and everything. Okay, and still the logistic cost, despite the focusing on the railways, is very high, 10 to 12% according to the World Bank. And China have compared to the China, it's 6 to 5%. Now what we can do to make more this master plan as a master in real sense? Okay, so we are going to discuss what are the way forwards. And what are the way forwards? Coordination. Okay, then reduce the corruption. Niti Aayog suggested the PPP model. Even the 2000 Shanta Kumar committee also suggested the PPP model. Then expanding the reach, regional development. Okay, regional development, then PPP model, then one more like expansion, the involvement of the more state, enhancing the amount. Okay, so these are the major points. Coordination among the ministries. Ministry should remove the inertia. One more point I was missing, that is the use of technology. Okay, advanced technology. So these can improve, will help to reduce the challenges, constraint faced by the PM Gati Shakti. The coordination, reducing the corruption, then the PPP model. Okay, PPP model to involve the get involvement of the private player, the research and development, providing the funds on time. Okay, then the expanding the domain from at least not to the railways, roadways, but other like energy. Then what exactly? Regional development. Then regional development, we can not only focusing on the major economic developed state like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, but this we can the develop means focus on the northeast also, West Bengal, Odisha, Chhattisgarh. Okay, and then the more state involvement. That's why government is most focused. Recently government launched the 4 highway means railway project in the Bihar also, then the connectivity project in the northeast also, channelizing the utilizing the potential and focusing in the particular northeast. If you go to there will be the potential of renewable energy. Okay, so this can be channelized, the reducing the cost, use of the technology, geotagging, land mapping to analyze the environmental clear, reduce the environmental clearance time like from 162 days. Best example is the Greater Nicobar connectivity project, multi-modal project. Okay, so this can be the way forward to make PM Gati Shakti more comprehensive, PM Gati Shakti more inclusive. Okay, I hope you got the PM Gati Shakti. What is PM Gati Shakti? What are the key achievements of the PM Gati Shakti? Because PM Gati Shakti already UPSC asked in 2020, 21 or 22, in mains also, in prelims also UPSC had asked, and now UPSC this year they asked in prelims 2000 means PLI achievements. Similarly, PLI achievement can be asked by the PM Gati means UPSC in the coming next year mains question. In prelims also this is important. So do remember what exactly this PM Gati Shakti shows, the bring more investment in India, make in India will be more visible. Okay, and this will fulfill the dream of India's means India's 1.45 billion population of developed India by 2047. Okay, we have discussed the 4 topics from the Gaza peace talk to the Atmanirbharta in the pulses to the Gir National Park, and this is the 4 years of PM Gati Shakti. I hope you understood these 4 topics. Make a notes. I will provide the PPT of all this means PDF notes in the link given below. Okay, in the description you will get the notes of all this. I hope you understood the things, and if anyone have any issue facing in the studies or any non-study issue, they can talk to our mentor, they can contact us. And if anyone want to join our Sankalp Sarthi means mentorship programming, they can join, because this joining will help you to make a channelized approach, daily target setting, focusing on the target. Okay, So do call us, get the inputs, arrange the mentorship session, and in this festive season, at least take a follow up of the current affair. Okay, by these notes, I will end my today's discussion. Jai Hind.